Hi and welcome back to a new video with me. I'm the guy who knits, aka Knit Guy, not very known yet, but still. In today's video we are going to talk about my knitting plans for 2023 because it's almost Christmas time. It's less than a month away and we have to start planning for the next year. And so I have been wishing for much yarn and I will go through some of the projects that I have in mind for 2023 if I don't make it to the end of the year. And to my rescue, I have my computer so that I can see what I have been noting here for you guys to see what I am planning on making. So I think this is going to be very exciting to show you what I'm planning on making for 2023. So let's get started. So the first thing that I've been noting here on my computer is the Moby Sweater man from Petiteknit, which I'll show you right here or somewhere. I don't know where I usually put it. But I have been seeing this garment for the women's size, and I have been thinking that I really would like to knit that one. It seems to be quite hard to knit. It seems as if it's very complicated, but I don't know. At least people say that, and if you look at the grading, because she always grade her patterns from like 1 star to 5 stars, I think. The sweater has 5 out of 5 stars, so it's quite difficult, it seems like. So I will definitely be having an adventure with that sweater. But I'm excited. I'm very excited, actually. So I'm planning on making that with a yarn that I am wishing for Christmas, so I better get it, or else it will be no Moby Sweater for me. But yeah, I guess otherwise I just buy it myself. But I think I wished for the drops. I actually have a skein over here, but for another project that I will mention very soon. So this is the Dale Natural Lanolin wool yarn, and this is in their espresso color. I've been showing this in the video of my yarn stash flash thingy that I have a video for. So I think I wished for the navy blue in this yarn, so I think that would make a very nice Moby sweater. So I'm very excited for that project, and I will definitely keep you updated on it. And also, don't forget to follow my Instagram if you want to see what I'm doing. I'm pretty bad at posting there, but I will try to be better, I promise. I have love with school now and other things as well, and the knitting. And as you can see, my room, I forgot to say it in the beginning, but I have a quite messy room. As you can see here, I actually have a knit project. It's a zipper sweater man for my friend. So I just want to show you that I'm a human. I don't have a very clean room. I didn't even make my bed, as you can see here. So I guess I'll have to be embarrassed. So let's move on from the Moby sweater from Petiteknit to the anchor sweater, my boyfriend size, I think it's called, for the men's version. And it's also a Petiteknit pattern, as I said, and I am planning on making it with this yarn that I showed you. So as I said, this is Dale Natural Lanolin wool. So I think this is a very nice yarn. It's so soft, even though it's like 100% natural wool. So I'm pretty surprised by this yarn, and I like it a lot. And it's very woolly. So you can feel the squishiness. I wonder if you can even hear it. Maybe I should start an ASMR channel instead with yarns. So I think this is gonna be the perfect yarn. So I knitted a gauge swatch with this yarn. I didn't keep it because I didn't want to waste the yarn. So I don't have it left to show you, but I did make a gauge swatch with this yarn. And I got the correct gauge after a couple of tries. So I think it's going to be gorgeous in this color. I did want to make it in the green color that is on the picture, but I wanted to be a little bit original. So I chose another color for it, that one. So that's the anchor sweater. And thirdly, I have also a Petiteknit pattern, which is the zipper sweater man. And I have been making a zipper sweater before, zipper sweater in drops Nepal and drops kid silk mohair, which I will continue to do, and which I have for this project as well. Oh, you can see it. I just realized here we can see. So I will make it with 2 threads. And I have, as I said, been making one before, which was in kind of a gray color, dark gray color. So it got this kind of, not marble effect. I don't know what you call it in English, but in Swedish it would be melerat, or multiple kinds of color shades. Yeah, I think you get me. So I will make a red version because I am told I suit in red garments, so I will make a red one, and I think it's going to be quite good. So this is the wonderful red color that I'm going to use for the zipper sweater man in the red version. As I said, I hope it's not going to be too red, but I think it's going to look great actually. I love the silky feeling when I look at this yarn, the Drops Kid Silk Mohair, and I like the red version of the Nepal yarn. So I hope this better be a nice combination together, which I do believe. But it's it's a very nice pattern. I find it very, it's very simple when you look at it. It's not very hard. It's very simple, and I mean, it's a good project. What can I say? And it's very easy to follow along with her pattern. And I like that it's German short row. And I guess since it's a bit higher on the necks, you would not be able to have a very good sweater of that kind if you wouldn't have the German short rows. But I think it's a good pattern if you want to not have a free drops pattern, which I totally recommend. And I will come to the free drops patterns that I am planning on making, but I would suggest maybe some of her Petiteknit patterns if you want to advance a bit further from the drops patterns. And so I think that's a good project. I think though it's 4 out of 5 stars, so it's pretty difficult if you look at the grading, but I'm not sure. I think it was 4 out of 5. You may correct me in the comments. So that's all of the Petiteknit patterns that I'm planning on making next year. And so we'll move on to the drops patterns. So first of all, I do have quite a lot of orders. As I said, I have one here. And I'll be making a hat. I have a sweater that I have to make. And I have also a scarf. And I just finished, I finished it like a couple of months ago, but still, a sweater for my second oldest brother's girlfriend that I've been talking about, I think, in 2 videos now, so I better stop. It's done now, okay? It's done. So I do have a few orders to make, and also I do have quite a lot of Christmas gifts. Because as I said, Christmas is coming up and I do have to start my projects for my family members and friends or whatever who's gonna have the Christmas gifts, so I better start going with that real soon. But I have an order on the way from Garniers, so I am awaiting that yarn to come to me so I can start my projects. I do have quite a lot of hats to make. It's an easy project and I think it's gonna turn out rather good. So I do have quite a lot of drops patterns that I'm planning on making for my family, and I won't show you that because maybe one of them are looking at this video and I wouldn't want them to find out what they're gonna have in their Christmas gift. So let's not talk too much about that. But for me, I'm planning on making the Tweed Casual drops pattern, and as I said before, I'm using my computer, so if you don't feel like I'm looking at you, I'm sorry. I'm looking at my computer to see what I'm gonna present to you. So the Tweed Casual is a very nice pattern, or at least to look at the finished garment. I did make where do I have it here? A gauge swatch for it, and I did keep it, so this is what it looks like. It's made out of the Drops Tweed yarn. I don't remember exactly, I think it's called Soft Tweed, and the Kid Silk Mohair yarn. And I think it turned out pretty good. Like, I don't think you can see it, but it's quite airy, and I'm not very fond of airy fabrics. I really want it to be knitted very tightly, and like for example this industrial made sweater or cardigan, which is very tightly knit. You can't see through it that much, so I want it to be that way, but this is very not that way. I don't think you can see it, but yeah, it's very airy. And here you have the 2 yarns here. So you have the soft tweed and you have the kid silk mohair. So they are pretty different from each other. They don't really have the same color, and I think that's kind of the idea with it. So that's also something that annoys me with this gauge swatch and the sweater. It's not a sweater, it's a cardigan that I'm making, because as you can see the silk threads in it, so that kind of not necessarily annoys me, but yeah, I don't know, but I think it's going to turn out pretty good. So it's the grizzly color-ish, whatever it's called, for the soft tweed, and the kid silk mohair, I have no idea what color it is, but it's like, I don't know, it's not called peanut, never mind. So you can find that pattern on Drop's website, and it's the same color as they are recommending for the pattern. So I do have a sweater that I have been having in my stash, I almost said, but having on hold for quite a bit, because last Christmas I wanted to get, I think it was 20 skeins of Drops Charisma, and you can hear this is a big thing. I have been knitting on a sweater called the Ice Island sweater from Drops. And it has been, I did work on it quite a lot before, so I started it, I knitted it, and it took so much time because there are so many cables on it, and it is so annoying because you don't get barely any progress on it. So I feel like it takes forever to make it, and so I have been just having it in my stash for quite a while. So I am planning on making that sweater and finish it, because I have been making, because it's a bottom-up sweater, and it's a kind of sweater where you connect the arms to the body and then you knit and then you shrink it, I almost said. So this part, whatever it's called in English, I think it's ok in Swedish, but that doesn't help you English viewers or wherever you come from. So I have to finish that. So I need to now make the arms so that I can connect it to the body, because I have been making the bottom section from the bottom up to the armholes. So that's a sweater that I'm making, and it's in the Drops Christmas, I said, in the white color. I think it's just the regular white, not the, that I call it, natural white color. So that's what I have in my stash to make, because it's never gonna happen if I don't do it eventually. So enough with the stash sweater. Next up, I do have a sweater that I have been wishing yarn for. It's called the Fisher's Fancy sweater from Drops. As I said, these are Drops patterns, and it's very nice. I think it's kind of it gives me an 80s vibe, sort of. I think it's pretty much a retro pattern from Drops. So I think that's going to turn out pretty well. I don't really have any retro patterns or retro sweaters or garments, so I think that would suit me pretty well. But I'm thinking, because I think the color is kind of, you knit it up and you fold it back down. I don't know if I want that, so I'll probably maybe just have a regular neck for the sweater. And it's a kind of oversized sweater size, so I think that will be quite good, because I don't own many oversized garments. I do have a wool sweater, which I bought in the store, so it's not a, hand-knitted garment, of course, but so I think that one is quite oversized, because the shoulders finish like here or somewhere, so it's pretty big and not very airy though, but it's very big. So I would like to have a hand-knit garment with a bit of oversize to it. So I think that's going to be a good one, which is also in wool. Drops Charisma, and it's in the natural white color-ish, like a bone white sort of color. I think that will give a nice look, and I think it's going to contribute to this retro 80s vibe that you get from this sweater. At least I get. I don't know if it's an 80s pattern, but I would think it is somewhere around there. But I think it's very intricate, because it has a lot of cables and a lot of details on it, so I hope I make it well. So that's what I have for Drops, but I do have a last pattern, which is called the, let's see, in my notes, the Rambling Man sweater. I think this is a sweater. I haven't looked it up. Let's see. Oh no, I lied to y'all. It's a cardigan. It's actually a cardigan. and it's knit with Drops Lima, but I'm gonna knit it in Drops Charisma instead because I ordered yarn on a sale because it was just recently Black Friday, so I just purchased some Drops Charisma instead because Drops Lima was expensive. So I ordered, I think it was 22 or 21 skeins of Drops Charisma, so it was quite a lot of yarn, and it's quite a big garment, so hence the lots of yarn, and it's also a bit of cables on it. So I think it's going to take forever to knit, but I think it's going to be very good when it's knitted up. And I'm gonna make it in the almost exact gray color that is on the Drops Lima yarn for the Drops Charisma, so we'll see how that ends up. I think it's gonna look great, actually. I think the garment will suit me quite well. I've never owned something like this cardigan, but I think it's gonna be great. So I didn't get any metal buttons because there are metal buttons to it, so I guess I'll just have to order some other buttons or something else. I'm not sure yet, but this is actually a funny story because when I ordered yarn, as I said before, I did look at some yarn and I did buy the yarn that I needed, but I also didn't want to pay for the, what do you call it? Frakt in Swedish. It's like the shipment, yes, shipping. I didn't want to pay for it, and the stores online know this. They know that you don't want to pay for it, so they make you basically buy more yarn, and that's exactly what I did. I bought yarn for this cardigan. I don't think it was a bad purchase though, because it was not very expensive. I think it landed on, like, if I will have some kind of international reference, it would be roughly around 40 euros, and I think that's quite decent. For such a nice and quite big cardigan, so I'm happy with it. So we'll see when I knit that up, probably not in a while because I have so many garments to make at this point, so I think that's gonna be for the future, but sometime it's gonna happen. And actually, that is all I have for this video. I do not have any more plans for this right now. Yes, I do actually. I do plan on making another project, and I have been wishing yarn for this as well. So I think it was Drops Saffron. I don't know how you pronounce that in English and not in Swedish either, to be honest. But I'm planning on making a case for my headphones, and not these headphones that I have here, because I have a case for it, because I go to the gym and I have a different pair of headphones for that, so I am planning on making kind of a case for it. So I will try to knit up that, and I don't have a pattern for it, so I'll try to come up with something myself. I'm pretty bad at designing patterns, but I want to be better at it, so I'm gonna try to learn, and I think it's kind of a part of the process to knit this headphone case, maybe. So I think that's going to be exciting. And my last question for you before we end this video. I do have quite a big bag of yarn here. It's quite kind of funny because I was at a yarn event, or it wasn't necessarily a yarn event, but handcraft event where they sold a bunch of yarn. And I went to this wonderful stand with these two women standing there selling yarn and knitted products. And this beauty came up to me and said, buy me. Like, I swear to you, this is the softest thing I've ever touched in my whole life. I am still shocked how it could be so soft, because I have no words. It's so soft. It's 100% baby alpaca, hence the softness, of course, but still, it's so soft, and it's from RNN Brännvall, Stockholm, Sverige. They have a website, rnbrandvall.se. So it's not for you international viewers maybe, but still. So I think this is a gorgeous yarn. It's kind of a natural color, so it's kind of a natural brown color. I love that. I love natural colors. And it's supposed to be knitted with needles 3 to 4 millimeters. And I have, at this point, no idea what I'm gonna make with it. I love the yarn. It's so soft. I have 20 skeins, but I don't know what to do with it. So please If you have an idea for this beautiful soft yarn, type a comment down below. Please do, because I really would like suggestions on what I could do with this gorgeous thing. It's a 50 gram skein with 133 meters. I don't know how many inches or whatever you fit thingy. So please give me suggestions. And also a yarn that I bought on this event that I was on with the crafting stuff was this yarn from TT. I've never heard of before. I think it's a Finnish brand and it's in 100% merino wool and it's very squishy and nice. It's a bit more woolly than, for example, Drops merino wool, because their yarn is much more, I wouldn't call it cotton-ish because that would be an insult, I think, to Drops yarns, but yeah, they're not very woolly. They're much more soft. So this is more woolly. And it's in a wonderful purple color. And I bought 3 of these. And I wonder, what do you think I should make out of these? They are 50 grams with 200 meters. So I think that would classify as a, not a lace, but I don't know yarn weights, to be honest. So I shouldn't even try. But yeah, I think you get what I'm saying. It's quite a thin yarn. I was thinking of maybe a thin hat or kind of maybe some, I don't know what they're called, you know, they are not, what do you call them? Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, on your hands. Okay, never mind. I hope you know what I mean. So I was thinking I could make something like that, but I'm not sure. So comment on that as well. What should I make with this purple, wonderful yarn that I bought? 100% merino, 50 gram, 200 meters. So with that said, I do recommend this yarn to begin with. But secondly, I thank you all for watching this video. If you have any suggestions on what I should be making ahead, you could of course type in comments. This video is actually a product from a comment that I got, so I'm very happy for that comment and I thank you for commenting. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.